your mother, it's time for another episode of Birds with Friends. Just a trio of feathery brethren weathering any season to see the Eagles eating teams like Scrammy's top with cheese. It's Philadelphia, Bo, Sheil, and Zach kicking it cooler than 3 penguins till Zach runs off with his valet keys. He's a real nuanced goose. Pull up a branch, get loose. It's time for some juice on some
Birds with Friends.
The early bird gets the worm, but prefers getting turned like a turn on some
Birds with Friends.
Bo, Sheil, and Zach coming at you with stats and things flapping their wings on
Birds with Friends.
All I know is Zach said he has a game where Sheil don't read both 7,000 words. And I said, I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it.
And so the purpose
that's what I needed was not to get at least one more reader.
Hello, everybody. Sheil Kapadia here with Marissa Morris, a Birds with Friends post-game episode for you. Bo Wulf and Zach Berman will be joining us after they get to their media availabilities. The Eagles, 27, Washington football team, 17. Playoff hopes are alive. The offense goes up and down the field after a slow start. And now, Marissa, we're looking at 3 games left here. The Giants. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I think it's time for Z-Berm to tell Emily that the playoffs are real.
January 15th to 17th. Don't make any plans. I don't know. What do people do in January? It's not apple picking. It's not holiday celebration. That stuff's over. I don't know. People go skiing. I don't know. My type of Indian, we don't really go skiing much. But listen, whatever you might have had planned January 15th to 17th, don't make plans because there could be a wild card game involving the Eagles. So here's where things stand right now. They're 7-7. I just looked at the 538 playoff projections. It says the Eagles have a 36% chance of making the playoffs right now. Hey, you might think that doesn't sound that high. Well, next week, they are 10-point favorites against the New York Giants. I mean, you could be looking at Jake Fromm. You could be looking at Mike Glennon, a Giants team that I think is averaging like 11 points per game over the last 5 or 6 or something, a complete dumpster fire. I mean, if you lose that game, that's going to be embarrassing. You are big favorites there. I think it's going to come down to January 2nd. They face this exact team we saw tonight. It might look a little bit different. It might have a different quarterback, but January 2nd, they are going to Washington. Man, if they win that game, if they win the next 2, they're up to 73% chance to make the postseason. So the team's in good shape. I mean, I always talk about this is what you want to ask for from your team. It's not always about winning the Super Bowl. It's about an entertaining product. It's about being glad you spent 3 hours with them on a Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, whatever the case may be. And then you want to have a chance going into the final few games. You don't have to worry about, you're still looking at the draft projections because those still matter when you have 3 first-round picks. But you're talking about the playoffs. And so that's where things stand with the Philadelphia Eagles right now. And so we look at this game. My big takeaway, I think this is what the kids say. I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's time to put some respect on Nick Sirianni's name. I mean, look at the guys he's working with. This is not a star-studded offense. 519 yards of offense, 23 first downs, 238 rushing. I mean, they're doing the same thing week in and week out, running the football. Opponents cannot stop them. Their offensive line is just dominating every single week. I think the stat they said during the game was 175 rushing yards in 7 straight games. Has not been done since 1985, the Chicago Bears. And so they're doing this week in and week out. They're all the way up to 9th in EPA per drive. I mean, a top 10 offense. Again, I'm not saying they don't have anybody. Dallas Goedert, monster game today. Miles Sanders had a nice game. Devontae Smith is a good player. The O-line is good, but I bet, and maybe we'll do this exercise at some point, if you just show me the personnel of all 32 offenses, this is not the 9th most talented offense. And so that's how I always judge coaching is, are you maximizing the talent at your disposal? Do you have something with your scheme, your play calling, whatever you want to call it, where you are making the whole be greater than the sum of the parts? And Sirianni's doing that right now. I mean, if McVay were doing it, if Kyle Shanahan were doing this, they're getting all sorts of praise. And so I think you have to be really encouraged with what you saw from Nick Sirianni. I think the big talking point from this game is going to be, I don't know if you saw this, Marissa, after Jalen Hurts had the early fumble, cameras caught him coming to the sideline, and Nick Sirianni is chewing him out. I mean, you don't always see this in an NFL game with the head coach and the quarterback. And so I'm sure Z-Burb is going to want to talk about this right away. I mean, he's probably writing about this. I would guess he's writing about this. We'll ask him when he joins us. Of course, Zach and Bo will be joining us. Did I mention that yet? Marissa, I haven't taken a break here. I've just been talking nonstop.
The chat is absolutely loving it. They're so impressed with your energy on a Tuesday night at 10:49 p.m. They're loving it. So keep bringing it.
Okay. So Zach and Bo.
We got to get to the quarterback too.
You know what I think has happened to me? I started listening to the podcasts on I'm not at 1.5, but I'm somewhere in between 1.25 and 1.5. And so now when I am doing a podcast with someone talking at in a normal cadence, I'm just going all in with the energy. I'm talking fast. So I really do think it's affected my life. I've had people comment to me. They're like, wow, you were really fired up on that podcast. And I'm like, was I? I thought I was talking normal. So I forget who said it, but someone had a great point that when you're on a podcast or radio or TV, the advice of just be yourself is the worst advice. You have to be like the I just had a Dan Campbell coffee version of myself, because you've got to entertain people. And so that's what I've it's the Dan Campbell coffee day for Sheil, Brandon says. So I'm looking at this, and that Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni moment, I thought was really telling. Hurts fumbles. It's a bad fumble. He holds on to the football. I'm not sure if he had someone open. I think he might have had a chance to get rid of the football, but still careless. Montez Sweat knocks it off. They're in the red zone. I mean, those are the mistakes that's how you lose the game. And, the first 3 possessions of this game, it was like, shoot, are they actually going to give this game away? Is this going to be a Garrett Gilbert game, the Joe Webb type game that we've talked about before? And so Hurts comes to the sideline, and I don't know what exactly Sirianni said, but I mean, you could tell he was not saying, hang in there, don't worry about it, next play. I mean, he was giving it to him, and Sirianni was asked about it after the game. And I thought it was really telling how honest he was. He didn't downplay it. He didn't say that that's no big deal. He said, Jalen is used to being coached hard by his dad. I was used to being coached hard by my dad. And so I told him that you were being too careless with the ball. We can't have that in that situation. And so that's great for the head coach quarterback relationship, just to get that little glimpse here. Week 15, there's a lot on the line. I mean, tensions are high. Jalen Hurts just came back from the injury. The game got moved. The stadium is going, what is happening here? We cannot lose this game right now. And so they have that little moment. It's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but it can be a big deal because it shows you that the coach doesn't have to coddle this quarterback. It shows you that this quarterback, doesn't get in his feelings. Again, I'm trying to get on. I think this is how young people talk.
You're so hip, Sheil. So hip.
Hurts isn't in his feelings after that. He doesn't sulk. I mean, I hate to always bring it back to the previous quarterback, but we know how things went last year when there's a sequence like that in the first quarter, in the first half, and it's like, all right, that's it. The game's over. There is no turning this around, and that's not Jalen Hurts. And so I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. I mean, when things go badly, he doesn't worry about it. He doesn't let it affect him. He goes on to complete 20 of 26 for 296 yards, over 11 yards per attempt. 3 of those incompletions, by the way, were drops. Now, that kind of evens out. Evens out because Dallas Goedert had a terrific, contested catch, which was not necessarily a great throw by Jalen Hurts. Greg Ward, I thought, made a great play on the touchdown catch. So it's not like his supporting cast was letting him down. They did have 3 drops, though, out of those 6 incompletions, and then they came back and they made a lot of plays as well. So, again, 519 yards of offense. I mean, I feel like we kind of take that for granted. If you were watching games around the NFL this weekend, if you were in a fantasy playoff or a fantasy regular season finale, teams were not moving the ball well this weekend. I think it was one of the lowest touchdown totals I think I saw someone say in a long time, if you just add up all the touchdowns that were scored this weekend. And so 519 is nothing to take for granted. And again, that came with the slow start. You look at it, first possession, I mean, what a fluky interception. Dallas Goedert drops the ball on third down. It hits his foot, and then it pops back up, gets an interception. By the way, to interrupt myself here. See, I'm used to being on with Bo. Bo, just kidding. Calm down. I know you're sensitive about that, but I'm interrupting myself here. Get those questions in the chat because Marissa's going to compile those. And once I'm done getting off my my initial points here, we will just get to questions until Zach and Bo show up. So first possession, you have the fluky interception. Second possession, you have the sack, the fumble in the red zone. Third possession, you convert on a 4th and 1, but Jordan Mailata penalty on that. So you go ahead and punt. So too often coaches talk about, hey, we shot ourselves in the foot. It was nothing they were doing, but the Eagles literally could not get out of their own way there on the first 3 possessions. After that, man, it was just up and down the field. I think it was, let me look here. Yes, 5 of their next 6 possessions they score on. And I think one of those, Goddard had a drop on third down and they punted. So again, it was just a mistake. I mean, Washington was doing nothing to slow them down. I thought the Eagles offensive line once again controlled the game. And so we know what the formula is. They don't have to overthink this. They're going to go into next weekend as 10-point favorites against the New York Giants, a team they did lose to earlier this season. So of course, we'll review that later this week and take a look at, what exactly happened in that game. I'm sure Zach remembers every single detail. I barely remember anything about that game. So I'll have to look at my notes once again and see what happened there. But I mean, the Giants are legitimately one of the worst teams in the NFL. You're going to have a coaching edge there. You're going to have a quarterback edge there. You're going to have an edge with your defensive line against their offensive line. All right, people want to see my hoodie. Yeah, this is in the TeePublic store. I mean, this is, I would suggest getting the lightweight hoodie. I like a lightweight hoodie. Now, these do run a little snug. So if you're on the fence, I would go with the bigger size, but otherwise very comfortable, not too heavy. I'm not going to be sweating underneath here. A nice fit. So that is in the TeePublic store. If you just go to teepublic.com, search Birds with Friends, you can see this design. You can get it any way you want there. All right, I'm looking at what my other big notes were here. Goddard had the initial drop, but then he was fantastic. I mean, he got the big contract, and he's getting more opportunities, and he's making the most of them. 7 catches for 135 yards. That contested catch down the left sideline, that was outstanding. That was a big play. Miles Sanders, 18 for 131. Now, Jordan Howard was running the ball quite a bit down the stretch. I think they were saying they were just managing Sanders a little bit since they have a game here coming up. I don't think Sirianni said there was an injury or anything else. So I think Sanders should be fine to play on Sunday against the Giants. Little dead air there. I don't know if
I was going to say, as Sheil takes a sip of his water.
Yeah, I got to hydrate. Listen,
I'll give the play-by-play.
You have to hydrate here, especially when you get old like me. If I don't, the throat, I'll start coughing in the middle of this. I'll probably get a headache 15 minutes into this. So Miles Sanders, Dallas guy. How about Jalen Reagor? Huh? I mean, I thought the big 2-play sequence came. The lead is cut to 20-17. Eagles have to put together a drive. Back-to-back plays. Jalen Reagor on a screen to the right. Fantastic block by Lane Johnson. I think Dallas Goedert also had a nice block on that play. I think that was a 30-plus yard gain down the right sideline. The very next play, Greg Ward for the touchdown. So they just went like in a flash. They went 80 yards on 8 plays. They turned 20-17 into 27-17. That to me was really the most impressive kind of 2-play sequence, most impressive drive of the entire game. I think those are most of my notes, honestly. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about the defense. I don't think I'm going to be watching this defensive film. Garrett Gilbert, I didn't think he was bad for a guy who just joined the team on, what was it, Wednesday, Thursday. I thought he was fine for someone who was put in that position. He looked like somebody who could be a backup in the NFL. I mean, he was just taking a beating in there. At times, the pass rush I thought was a little inconsistent. I mean, there were times during that game where I'm saying they're not getting a hand on him. I think Bo tweeted out that Fletcher Cox's sack on one of the last plays of the first half was the only time they touched Garrett Gilbert in the first half. So it was slow in the beginning. As the game went on, I thought there were some high leverage spots where they got to him. I thought Fletcher Cox, it seemed like this was one of his more active games of the entire season. Javon Hargrave certainly had some pressure in there as well. You know, the defense was okay. There were stretches where I thought they were doing a great job. Other times where you're going, how are they letting Washington convert? On third down, they had the big play action on 3rd and 1 where they get down near the goal line and then score a touchdown. So I just believe this is a mediocre to below average defense. I'm going to continue to believe that. But again, you're going up against the Giants. Next week, you're going up against Washington in week 17. So like the defense really should not kill you until potentially that week 18 matchup against the Cowboys, which by the way, the Eagles are higher in EPA per play on offense than the Dallas Cowboys right now. I mean, man, I would have taken all sorts of odds that was not going to be the case this year, but the Cowboys have kind of gone in the wrong direction over the last 6 weeks or so since Dak Prescott returned from his injury. The Eagles, of course, are trending in the right direction. So I think those are most of my notes. Is it too early to take a break, Marissa? Or should we take a little break and come back and get to some questions?
Let's take some questions.
Let's take some questions
Bo
first.
And Zach are still waiting on Hurts, so we could have a little bit before them.
All right, let's get to some questions. Get your questions in there in the comment section. I will answer them to the best of my ability.
Yeah, so a lot of good ones. But I think a big theme so far in the chat is Jalen Hurts, wanting to know your evaluation of his performance. And Dan Orlovsky called this his most impressive game as an Eagle. How would you agree with that? Would you not agree with that? What are your thoughts, Sheil?
I think it was that Broncos game where I thought he played great in that game. That was a dominant performance. So I haven't thought about it enough to know. I would think there was a game or two that I would take instead of this game, only because you did have a turnover in the red zone. I mean, listen, there are times where the lack of arm strength is going to show up. I think it was the deep post to Devontae Smith in the first half where you look at it and it's like, man, Hurts has to really put everything he has into this throw. And even then, it was still a little bit off target. So I think those things are going to happen. Now, having said that, other than, a few plays there, it was a clean game and he doesn't try to overdo it. He doesn't try to play hero ball for the most part. I mean, I thought this was a highly schemed up offensive game plan from Nick Sirianni. I thought he did a great job, but you still need the quarterback who's going to execute that highly schemed up game plan. And so he was finding Dallas Goedert. He was converting on third down. And so I think he played well. I don't think, he was at 100% with that ankle. He did run the ball a little bit, and I thought he looked fine. He looked better than most quarterbacks, but probably not at kind of his, his peak level of athleticism. And that's probably something you're going to deal with on Sunday with this game just being, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Still, 5 days away? Is that right? Yeah, 5 days away.
I guess it's kind of like a Sunday to Thursday night game.
Yeah. So
still short rest, obviously.
Yeah, short rest. So he's not going to be, I wouldn't, expect him to be running all over the place in that game. I think Bo asked Sirianni in the post-game press conference, did you adjust the game plan to account for his injury? And without saying yes, Sirianni kind of did say yes. So maybe some of those option runs where it looks like an option, it's like, listen, just hand the ball off. If there comes a time where they're crashing on that and we're getting hit for tackles for losses, we'll let you go ahead and take off for one of those. But if not, when in doubt, hand the ball off. And certainly there weren't a lot of designed runs. I don't think they ran that sort of counter quarterback read, that bash play with Jalen Hurts with the two guys pulling that they were crushing the Jets with a couple of weeks ago. And so I think they did account for that a little bit.
All right, let's go to the run game. This question is from Nick Field. Is Miles Sanders breaking out into a tier 1 running back?
Tier 1, I would say no. I would not agree with that. Now, the numbers with Miles Sanders are almost always better than kind of what the eye test or the film might say. Now, I think he has played better. I think the last 2 games have maybe been his 2 best games of the season. I think we have some stuff in the chat. We're getting hit with some porn bots or something in there, Marissa, that we need to.
We just have so many people in the chat right now. It's like
Good.
popping.
Okay.
So,
Well, listen.
they are not welcome though.
Those are
only Eagles fans.
That's right. Those are not welcome. So I think he's played better. I mean, tier 1, there are a lot of great. I mean, Jonathan Taylor. You're not putting Miles Sanders in that category. I wouldn't put him up there with a Nick Chubb or a Derrick Henry. So it kind of depends to me. Alvin Kamara. So I could probably reel off at least 10 to 12 guys where if you said, hey, would you rather have this guy the rest of the season over Miles Sanders? At least 10 to 12. I would say yes. It might be more than that. And so I would say no to tier 1, but I will say I think he's played better. Maybe his 2 best games the last 2 weeks.
Well, Nick actually had a follow-up to that one too.
Okay.
Is he securing himself a new contract with these performances?
No, I would not. I would not say that. I mean, if I'm the Eagles, I would not be dishing out a lot of money to extend Miles Sanders really to a running back. I mean, I think if they're going to stick with Jalen Hurts and it's going to be this run heavy attack, then you do need multiple really good running backs because, I mean, it's just a big part of your offense. If they can have different skill sets, that's great. If you can have the home run hitter and then kind of the short yardage grinder in sort of the Jordan Howard type mold, I think that's great. But, we see it all the time that you can get those guys without investing a huge number of resources. I mean, if you spend a 2nd or 3rd round pick on a running back, I'm fine with that. But in terms of paying a guy and that resource allocation with the salary cap, I would not be looking to do that with Miles Sanders.
All right. This one is from The Truth. Thoughts on Bo's boy Opeta? Seems like he held his own pretty well, especially against Washington's beastly defensive tackles.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. I think he had at least 1 penalty, maybe 2 penalties. I'm not sure, but I mean, when somebody has to come in a situation like that, sort of in the at the last minute, and like you're mentioning there, he's going up against good defensive tackles in Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne, then, you just want them to sort of be adequate. And I thought he was fine. I mean, I hate to go the coach route here, but, we'll talk about that once we watch the film. Offensive line play to me is just like impossible to really look at closely during a live game. If a guy is just sort of getting crushed or if a guy is dominating, like, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelce seem to be doing every week. I mean, we're probably, I know this wasn't the question. I don't think we're talking enough probably about how well Lane Johnson has played. I mean, since he came back.
There's a few comments like that in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. I think, I'm going to be doing an all-pro team for The Athletic. I've not done this before at the end of the season where it's just me and my name's on it and that's it. And so I have to look at the all pros. And earlier I thought I did a mid-season one and Lane Johnson wasn't on there because he had missed time. But I think Ryan Ramczyk of the Saints was on there and he's been injured now. So I think Lane Johnson has a chance to, I forget how many games exactly he missed, whether it was 3 or fewer than that. But man, he is playing awesome right now. You don't even notice him in pass pro. I can't remember the last time he gave up a QB hit. Maybe there's one that I'm missing. And then in the run game, he is just absolutely crushing people week in and week out. His energy is off the charts. He's giving you the first down signals, it seems like, every week. He's loving this style of offense. So he's playing fantastic.
Sheil, how is your Superstore casting confidence level right now?
I think Zach won. I don't know. I don't know if somebody in the chat knows.
We will not get to Swooper until Bo is here because
yeah.
I feel like that would be just totally crushing to him, especially after his favorite one did hit. So we will
Which was
tease
his
that.
favorite one?
It was yours. The first and blank. Yes.
No. I think I looked at it quickly. I looked at Dennis's Twitter because some people were tweeting at us when there was the 1st and 13, and I thought, oh sweet, I got that. Did I win? But then I looked real quickly and I was like, wait, I think Zach got a couple of these with Rager and Fletcher Cox having the sack. So Zach, I mean, a huge week. He only had 3. Again, I don't know this for sure. We'll get to it with Bo, but if my, if I'm right that Zach won, it was a huge win for him.
Yes. All right. So we will tease that and get to that later in the show when Zach and Bo join us. They are currently waiting on Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure if he's started to speak yet, but we will get to them shortly. This one, let's go to the defense. This is from Ben. Is Hargrave getting double teamed? What slowed him down?
I mean, there are times that he gets double teamed, but I think he's been pretty consistent. I know the numbers haven't always looked like that, but I think I think he did put up numbers the previous week against the Jets. I know in this game, there were definitely times where you're noticing him. So I think he's been solid throughout the season. Again, all pro. I don't know. Is he going to be a candidate for maybe a second team all pro? I would have to look at the numbers a little bit more, but he has had a fantastic season for sure.
This one is from John. Thoughts on the NFL making Tuesday Night Football a thing?
Well, I'll let Bo. I'm sure Bo is going to want to sound off on what happened this weekend and then pushing this game to Tuesday. So I'm not going to get to that. I did get the sense yesterday and today. I'm like, you know what? In 5 years, there's just going to be 2 games every day. Maybe they'll.
I think Friday. We saw that today, right? They said starting in 2023, there was something out there that on Monday Night Football is going to turn into 2 games.
Okay. Yeah. I did. I saw that quick tweet and I wasn't sure if it was someone suggesting that or if it was something that's actually going to happen. So, I think eventually they'll leave Friday. They might still leave Friday alone for high school football. They might leave Saturday alone for college football. But other than that, I mean, they've got to be loving this. And, I will say if it's collectively bargained and each team has to have, a minimum amount of rest and they can figure it out with the scheduling, I got to say, I'm not totally against it. Okay. I was laughing. It was like the announcers. I don't know if you noticed this, Marissa, like every announcer I listened to this weekend had to throw in one of the, they would show the upcoming schedule and they'd be like, all right, spend some time on the couch. I don't know if my wife's going to like that, but I'm going to be enjoying it. It was like every single, I don't know, Collinsworth, Kurt Warner, they all had to be like, listen, the old wife, the old ball and chain might be mad at me, but you know what? I'm going to be watching some football every day this week. It was so embarrassing.
On top of bowl season, I mean.
I know, but I liked because this is kind of selfish, I guess, for my job really, because what happens is Sunday I can't watch every game, and so I spend Monday from the time I wake up until I start writing, I'm just in catch-up mode trying to watch. I don't watch full games, but I'm trying to watch as many games as I can so that I have something to write about. And so from my perspective, this week was great because it's like, all right, I'm watching Thursday live, I'm watching Saturday live. I can knock out probably 1, 2, 3 games Sunday that have my full attention, maybe 4. So that's 6. I got 2 Monday nighters that I'm watching, not doing anything else. That's 8. And then we didn't get both games. I don't think anyone got both games today unless you had like DirecTV or something, right?
Yeah. So I had one on my phone. I have my stepdad's DirecTV login, but he kept going in on his phone. So we kept kicking each other off. Couldn't figure out what was going on at first. And then my mom was texting me. I'm like, oh, crap. So I told him to stop because I said I needed it for work.
There you go. It always works. So, but basically it's like 9 or 10 games I can just watch as they're happening, which is great because then I don't feel so far behind. So during a typical week, by the time Monday Night Football rolls around, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm a little bit over this. I don't need to be watching another football game right now. And I'm kind of distracted and I don't take, I feel like I'm not taking a lot of notes or paying as close attention, but I kind of liked it like this. There was a little bit each day. And if you think about it, it is kind of silly that like on a Sunday at 1:00, where you have the most popular sport in America, where the ratings are through the roof, that there are 9 games on at the same time. Like that doesn't make business sense. I mean, if you think about what you could get, I hate to be going like Roger Goodell and like Jerry Jones here, but what you could get for like a Wednesday night package, what you could get for that doubleheader on Monday, what you could get for like 2 Tuesday games. every week. I mean, it would be crazy. And so you could probably convince the players, hey, if we're going to be splitting the revenue and we're going to be able to bring a lot more money in, then let's go ahead and do this. So that would not surprise me at all. Again, I think you have to make sure that the players are getting enough rest, that it's not messing with them. But I don't know, the teams have shown like an ability to adjust to some of these things, a weird Tuesday game or whatever it may be. So I'm not opposed to that. I just don't be starting those games late. Like I don't need the old Monday night version where it's like 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Give me like a 5 o'clock and an 8 o'clock.
5 o'clock start was nice yesterday.
That was nice. Yeah. I know our
Game's
West Coast
over,
audience might not like it, but listen, you might be working from home anyway. Find yourself a nice boss. It's a worker-friendly market right now. You should have options. You should have leverage. So before you sign on, demand, hey, Monday, I need to get home if I'm on the West Coast. I'm going to be taking a half day every Monday. And if you have a problem with that, I'm going to go elsewhere.
Yep. Tell him Sheil said so. All right. Let's take a quick break. We're still waiting to get Bo and Zach here. I think someone in the chat said that the Hurts presser has ended. So hopefully they're finding a spot. I'm not really sure what they're doing, but send in your questions while we take a quick break and Sheil will answer them when we get back.
Our longtime sponsor, Artifact, provides an amazing way to capture a family story or create an audio portrait of someone you know intimately, so you can surprise them with a beautiful podcast episode detailing the times you've been there for one another, the inside jokes, the laughter and tears you've shared, and all the little things you never want to forget. It's a wonderful gift for the people in your life who really value relationships and memories, and Artifact makes it easy. You set up a remote interview over the phone or a computer with one of Artifact's professional interviewers who guides you or whomever you'd like them to interview through a conversation about a meaningful relationship, a specific period of time, or anything else you'd like to hang on to. It's all about what's important to you. Artifact then edits the conversation into a private studio quality episode that you can enjoy now. And when those memories inevitably begin to fade, start making an instant heirloom for your family or best friend at heyartifact.com and enter the code BIRDS to save $20 on your first artifact. 2022 is coming and it's time to think about what improvements you can make in the new year. And why wait? Here's something you can start acting on even sooner. Consider refinancing your federal student loans with Earnest. Of course, make sure you review CARES Act disclosures carefully first. Earnest is the #1 student loan refinancer in the country. They earned the top spot by helping thousands of people get better rates, lower their monthly payments, or by helping their customers combine multiple loans into a simple monthly payment. And Earnest doesn't charge any fees ever, not even late fees. So take 2 minutes, yes, it only takes 2 minutes, and see what your new rate could be. Don't worry, there's no credit impact. If you have questions, Earnest has an in-house team ready to help, and you can always talk to a real live human. When you pay less interest, you can put that money toward your goals. Right now, Earnest is offering our listeners a $100 cash bonus. Refinance your student debt at earnest.com/birds. Not available in all states. Once again, you get a $100 cash bonus when you visit earnest.com/birds to refinance your student loan. Visit earnest.com/birds for more details. Not available in all states. Terms and conditions apply. Earnest student loan refinancing made by Earnest Operations LLC, NMLS number 1204917, California financing, law license number 6054788, 535 Mission Street, San Francisco, California, 94105. Visit earnest.com/licenses for a full list of licenses.
All right. Couple things to get to here. First of all, we got to give a shout out. The Browns did not give us the result we wanted yesterday, but I did see a certain left guard dominating, snap in and snap out. It was certainly no fault of the offensive line. They were in a tough spot. So many guys out. I thought they had it. I was in here. I think my wife walked in as I was watching, and I think it was like a run to the left. It might have been an outside zone. And then he just like Michael Dunn just flattened the guy. I'm yelling, finish him or something like. Where is he? What's going on here? And so it was a tough one, but nevertheless, it's a team game, but nevertheless, a nice outing for the Morris Dunn household.
Yeah, it was. I'm very proud of him, obviously, but very deflating. There's nothing like watching that field goal go through right through the uprights as time expires and the opposing team runs on the
helpless.
field.
I know. It's they iced him.
Yeah,
they tried to ice him.
It was rough, but very proud of him. We talked about Opeta today. Stepping in when you get those opportunities.
Yeah.
And, he did a really good job, so I'm very happy for him. And the AFC playoff picture is pretty crazy too. So
that division, unbelievable. Yeah,
wild.
It's true. Everything, I'm sure Kevin Stefanski is giving them the everything is still in front of you speech. Yeah. I remember I forget what year it was with Doug Peterson, but that was like his message, and it's true for them. I mean, that division, I think everyone's got between 7 and 8 wins right now. They're all playing each other in the next 3 weeks. So let's hope that they can, get some guys healthy, and we'll see what happens there in the last month. Man, when they came back, it was like, oh, they are going to steal this game. Could not get the stop there at the end. But again,
very unfortunate. But what is fortunate is that we do have Zach Berman joining us.
All right.
Hello. On the pod. He beat Bo. Bo's probably freaking out that he can't find
Zach looks excited.
Zach looks like
it's 6:30 in the morning or something. There.
I wish.
I think you're juiced from the game. It was an exciting game. You've probably just been waiting for the Tuesday night game to start. And I don't know, and I'm sure. Well, I'm gonna let you get to it, but go ahead. Well, welcome in Zach and Bo.
Thank you. Great to be here. I'm sorry that we took so long. I don't know, Jalen Hurts is sorry
stealing the show, so I
asked.
We did get some offers from some local TV network execs were in the chat, have side messaged us, but I mean, you should have us at least till the end of the season, and then we can talk after that.
I asked Bo in the press conference room. I'm sorry to be, is Sheil going to be pissed at us? And Bo was like, Sheil might prefer this, actually, right? I should have asked, is Marissa going to be frustrated at us, right? But anyways, I'm sorry. I hope I don't repeat what you guys discussed, but huge win for the Eagles. Huge win. Looked a little shaky for the first quarter there, but rebounded, and the offense was clicking. I know they were playing against an undermanned opponent, but it certainly matters that they're 7-7 in the thick of the playoff race here. And as Sheil tweeted, like it really seems they're finding their rhythm on offense.
Bo,
how's it going?
Good.
I've got 3 things to get to.
The only thing, I'm all for, being masked up and said, the only thing is I can't tell your facial expression. So if I have like a big zinger at you, usually I can tell if I got you, if it hit or not. And that's the only thing, happening. So maybe you can tell me.
So what's the science here? Should I I'm in a private room. Should I have it on still, or like, what's the,
I don't know. I mean, there's no good answer. I mean,
I want to exercise my best public health here, right? My best personal health. Too,
I don't
right?
think you're doing anything. I think it's fine to wear it. I don't think you're doing anything wrong in there by yourself.
Okay. A couple of things. I want to take you through 2 very interesting, fun moments from the moments that we went down to the post-game press conferences, because I'm sure you've covered everything about the game so far.
Yeah.
We get off the elevators to go down to the tunnel. And, when you get off the elevators, there are a bunch of Eagles fans streaming out. And a bunch of Eagles fans were chanting, "Let's go, Brandon," very loudly. And so I had the opportunity to explain to Jeff McClain what that meant. He didn't know it. You look like you guys don't know it either. You're better off for it.
Let's go, Brandon.
You have to explain it now, right?
I mean, I thought there was going to be like, and then Brandon Graham emerged, or Brandon Brooks came out, and all the fans were fans chanting, "Let's go, Brandon."
this is like mainstream Republican code for F Joe Biden.
Oh, okay.
What?
That's a thing. It's a thing. Now you know it. Now you'll be able to recognize it. But yeah, that was a tough start to.
Well, now we know
the
both on
beginning
the
of
pod.
post-game. Then on the other side,
Why
a
is it
very
Let's Go Brandon. I'm so confused.
it's very stupid because it's the same
All right.
syllables. It's like it's very clever to say it this way, and then people don't know what you're talking about.
Both came in hot. All right, what else do you have? I
number
thought it was
two-
gonna be something, Zach had to run to the presser again, and someone. Go ahead.
Next up, Dallas Goedert came out. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he comes out for his post-game press conference dressed in full elf outfit, right? Like yellow pants,
the tweets, yeah.
green outfit. He's got the hat with him. Like, okay, this is interesting. And before, like, face to face, before any questions are asked about the outfit or anything like that, or even like acknowledging that this is a silly thing, one reporter, like from 2 feet away, before even sitting down, is just like, "So did you think there was some rust in this game?" And it's like not addressing what was in front of him at all. And Dave Zangaro and I both were like on the verge of having to leave the press conference room because we were laughing so hard.
That's what I'm.
stuff.
That's Zach said we got to get shit. That's the kind of thing I miss from being in person. Honestly, those are the moments that make it worth it.
It was tough to beat. I mean, borderline moment of the year for me.
Okay.
This is the difference between Bo and me is that, I'm sitting there in the press conference room thinking, God, there's so much we need to discuss about this game. We're sitting here wasting time. I can't wait to go up there
Sheil
and discuss the
I
game.
feel like they've probably covered a lot of the bases.
Bo's sitting there saying, I need to get these two things off my chest. So,
and then number 3, sorry if you'll indulge me. I haven't listened to this yet, but I was sent something from DFOP Noah Becker, an avowed minion, for me to play on the show.
Did I do something?
Remember, we're live on YouTube.
Don't get Marissa fired, please.
It loads.
or me, yes.
Kyle Allen, Heineke, Hudson, Kaliki, David Mayo, Kendall Fuller, William Bradley King, Tyler Larson, Cameron Curl, Milo Eifler out as well, Derek Forrest, Wendell Smallwood, Temmer Canningway, Cornelius Lucas, Brendan Scherf, Primus Veteran Stadium Turf, 7 coaches out as well. Watch team thinks that Tuesday's swell. We didn't lose to Gilbert, though we started slowly. Watch team's much too lowly. We didn't lose to Gilbert, though we tried too early, gave those losers a swirly.
I like his voice. He's got a nice voice.
He has a singing background. He's got
musical
So there you
background, right?
That was amazing.
That was good. I feel like you're gonna need to outsource some of this going forward, Bo. Or
I think
maybe
that's.
they'll duet
I
or
do think
something.
that's in everybody's best interest.
Yeah, I was kind of, that one I was moving to a little bit. Yours, I don't know, it might just be, because I knew it was coming.
that song,
and that was like, 30 seconds,
was
and
30
yours
seconds,
was like 9 minutes. Yeah, so that might have been the difference.
Yeah, I could have used. I thought that was a great job. I know I could have used another like 7 minutes or so.
ZB, I made a prediction earlier. What is have you guys discussed what you're writing yet?
Not yet. We raced up here. I have kind of 2 ideas, and I would go with the one Bo doesn't take.
Well, I would imagine one of you doing the little Sirianni choose out Hurts on the sideline type lead. I felt like you were loving it. That might be why you're so excited. I knew
that was
when
one
I
of them
saw
I was
that.
ruminating about. That So, and then because really the only
But
thing
I feel
on
like that's
Hurts-
what everybody's writing. I mean, you can write it better, but
exactly write it better,
Well,
right?
Yeah, give it to ZB then. If you don't want it, then
I mean, the
I
reality
go
is
ahead.
we're all in these press conferences at the same time. Like,
Right.
You're not
yeah.
getting something that like you're not getting an angle that no one else is exploring. What you're doing is you're explaining it, writing it, presenting it in a unique way with perspective and insight and maybe a little flair that hopefully your competition isn't. But
Jack,
I mean,
all about the flair.
I'm not pretending that I'm coming up there with like a quote from a press conference that was streamed live that no one else got.
Well, you can still, you can draw meaning from that. I mean, did you think that was a meaningful moment? Like, this will be a nice brainstorm session for you. What did you take away from that moment? And actually, I haven't heard what Jalen Hurts said about it. So why don't you fill us in on what both of
Sure. So Jalen Hurts said, so Sirianni said that he got on him there. And actually, all our listeners and the two of you can provide insight because apparently TV showed it up close. And he said that Sirianni said that he told Jalen he was careless with the football, and that he needs to tighten up there. And he said Jalen told Jalen's a coach's son, Nick's a coach's son. They were both coached hard, and Jalen has told him, you can coach me hard, and Jalen can take it. And Jalen told him, Jalen said that he told him earlier this year, like, I lived with my dad. My dad chewed me out, and I had to sleep in the same house as him. I can take it. And
love
and
that.
He said it's an example of the evolution, or it was kind of inferred by a reporter, and Jalen didn't deny it, that it's the evolution of their relationship here. That maybe earlier this year, that's not the way Sirianni coached, or he wasn't as hard on him, and Jalen welcomed it. And Jalen went through different coaches that he's had in his life, from his father to Nick Saban, Mike Lockesley, then the offensive coordinator at Alabama, now the head coach at Maryland, and said that he's always wanted this in a coach. And I also think it's important to point out, because this is one of the things that frankly became an issue with Carson Wentz, right? That Carson Wentz wasn't taking that type of coaching. And that they needed to massage around, that they needed to tiptoe around him. So I think it's worth exploring from that perspective as well.
Yeah, I think
he has been good at not turning the ball over for the most part this year, except for his last game. So I think that's probably part of it, is that you don't want it to go down the road it went against the Giants. I also I think it's an interesting look into their dynamics, and like Jalen was smiling when he was asked about it, like this is nothing. This is not a big deal at all. And that's sort of like, I don't think it's that big of a deal from like oh my God, the coach is yelling at the quarterback. Like, he just fumbled in a stupid situation. He shouldn't have fumbled. It was totally reasonable. Like, they're all adults here. Yeah.
At the same time, though, I would say you don't see a lot of coaches when the quarterback comes over, kind of, I don't know if it was yelling at him, but I mean, it was like anyone who watched it could see exactly what was happening. It was not hey, don't, shake it up. A lot of times it's, hey, shake it off. Don't worry about it. Next play type thing. It was like, what are you doing? Like, we're in the red zone. This is the only way we're losing this game, is if we make mistakes like that, like protect the freaking ball type thing. And I think what you said, Zach, was right. I thought it was a nice glimpse into their relationship right now. And, I love that Hurts told him that Sirianni's comfortable doing it. No one's going to have hurt feelings about it. You don't have to worry about Hurts sulking after he makes a mistake like that. I mean, he bounces back every time he has an issue like that. It seems like it doesn't bring him down. He has played for Nick Saban. I would imagine after Saban, that he almost would start laughing when like Sirianni's yelling at him, because that would probably be the peak of it. But I thought it was sort of an interesting moment when you zoom out and you look at kind of the state of that relationship, the state of this franchise. When was my last espresso? So I said this earlier. So I think I've run into this issue. I listen to podcasts on like between 1.25 and 1.5 now. And so now when I'm speaking, I feel like I have started to speak faster, or I can't, I'll be like, why is this person like so slow with no energy, like in my day-to-day life? And this is just kind of a new version of me. Like, do I seem a little too hopped up, a little too energetic some of these times, or no?
I think it's great.
I like this.
These two are falling asleep completely.
No, silent. I'm definitely not. I was thinking about your perspective there, and if I did write that story, how do I incorporate that perspective?
Okay, so now let's figure out what I'm going to write about.
I don't know if that's what I'm writing.
You're the one who said everyone's going to write about that. You got to give it to Zach.
Well, we workshopped it for Zach. It seems like he's.
I don't need to write that. There's also
what are you going to write about? You should write about as I said earlier, put some respect on Nick Sirianni's name. The offense is 9th in EPA per drive. He's got them 7-7. This is by no standard like a top 15 offense talent-wise, in my opinion. He's built this relationship with his quarterback. They adjust to playing on Tuesday. I don't know. Listen, those aren't good, like secondary points. You get the main point there. I think it's time for a day after of, this is a different guy than who we thought he was the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. And it's time to recognize that now that we're going into the final 3 games.
I definitely thought as
Bo has never taken one of my suggestions. We did this last time.
True, but it does make me not want to do it. That is also true.
I thought that the offense really showed a lot of creativity. I thought the offense showed a lot of creativity. It's only because we didn't get Sua at
the podium. Otherwise, I mean, that's a layup.
Right. Zach, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was really impressed with the offense in that I thought the play calling was creative. They did a lot of interesting things with players in motion and pre-snap movement. I thought it was a well-called game, and I don't put the 2 turnovers early in the game on the play calling there. I actually thought the pass to Goddard was a layup that Goddard dropped.
Sure.
And I thought Hurts should have handled that play better. I thought, in hearing Sirianni talk afterwards, he took the extra time, be it the bye week, be it the weekend, to put thought into what they were going to do. Now, I wouldn't really give him too much credit for the trying to draw Washington offsides on the 2-point conversion. I don't think that was a masterstroke of coaching. I think the Baltimore situation that he referenced was a little bit different. That was end of game. Baltimore couldn't take those timeouts with them there. I think part of that was seeing maybe the way.
Oh, is that what he said he was doing? He was trying to get a offside and then a closer 2-point try.
Yeah. So he said that it was brought up to him that someone did it this weekend. He said, yes, what game? And the reporter, John McMullen, said, I think Baltimore. He said, yes. He
nice
said,
job by him. You don't want to get caught in that spot, not knowing what game it is when they test you.
So the Baltimore situation was end of game. That was a little bit different here. There was still a minute and a half left in the first half. They could have used those timeouts. Also, Baltimore came back out and ran the 2-point conversion. The Eagles came back out and went for the extra point. So it wasn't
so
quite.
Then why did they call timeout?
Yeah, did he say what? On TV also, you guys probably might not have seen this, but he was saying something about timeout. Like, I don't know that he wanted to call timeout.
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah.
So maybe he'll answer that. I don't know, next time you talk to him. But yeah, that was a weird sequence.
Yeah, but overall, I thought the creativity was there. And he got Slay involved, and it definitely worked. Like, Washington was so keyed in on Slay, it opened a big lane for Miles Sanders. And to Sheil's point, back-to-back weeks where Miles Sanders has set a career high in rushing and Dallas Goedert has set a career high in receiving. And when that happens 2 games in a row, it shows you're clicking as an offense when 2 players set their career highs in back-to-back weeks. And
they were 12 yards away from an Urban.
Yes, exactly. The 250.
Yes.
That would maybe that's your angle. That could be your angle.
Just bring it back to Urban and just write about Urban again.
Eagles win, but fail to hit Meyer mark or something.
Yeah.
Get a little Urban Meyer in the headline for some SEO, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
So no, to that point, I think Sirianni definitely deserves credit for the game he called and for the way this offense is playing. And the stat that the Eagles are touting, that they're the first team since the '85 Bears to have 7 games in a row with 175 plus rushing yards.
I mean, that's an insane mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
and for a team that literally wasn't running the ball through the first 5-6 games of the season to be doing this, that says something.
One thing we didn't get to that there's been some questions on, so I'll just throw it to you guys and then can offer my take. What did you think of his sort of in-game decision-making here? In this game, there were actually some kind of key moments. I thought, they won't get talked about as much since they won by 10. But if this is like a different outcome or a closer game or something, they're probably spotlighted. So go ahead, Zach. You didn't like it.
two that are fresh in my mind, and I don't know if these are the ones you're referring to. They get the first down on the fourth down, the Jordan Howard pitch. Mailata gets the penalty. It goes back to then 4th and 3, and he elects the punt, or 4th and 4 rather.
4, I think,
he elects the punt. I would have gone for 4th and 4 there. I said that before seeing the result of the punt, which went into the end zone. They got a 21-yard net, I believe it was. I didn't like that. And then I didn't love.
Do you think? Sorry, real quick on that one.
Yeah.
Did you think he knew? Because I didn't realize right away that it was only 4th and 4. You know,
I think he might not have known. I think it's possible that he might not have known.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, that, and then I thought the 4th and 1 when Jake Elliott kicked the field goal to make it 20-10 when it was 17-10. I thought they could have gone for it. I understand, you want to make it a 2-possession game at that point. But I'd have confidence you can convert a 4th and 1, and I would try to keep my offense on the field and score a touchdown.
I thought that one was not as bad because of Gilbert being on the other side. But I also you asked me real time. I said I would have taken the points off the board and gone for it. I sense that like this has been like somewhat of a celebratory pod. Is that fair to say? Sheil, if it seems like you guys
do I sound like a
I don't know. I feel like
celebratory type person?
I feel like this game did not knock my socks off.
Really? How so?
Well,
their defense
was really, really disappointing.
The defense was disappointing.
That might be a step. I thought it was.
I did.
It's what it is.
They let up 10 points on short field, and they let up one drive in the fourth quarter. I mean, I don't want to be the
who was signed on Friday. And they were letting him throw the ball. They didn't start blitzing until the fourth quarter. Now Gilbert actually did a good job against the blitz for the most part, but they didn't hit the quarterback until the last play of the first half.
I gave you credit for that tweet, by the way.
Thank you. This defensive line that is supposed to be the heartbeat of their team is consistently underperforming, I think, and this is a game where they should have been able to win this game by 30 points. I know that's a high bar, but combined with some of the questionable Sirianni decision-making things, it made me sort of a little bit not reticent, but when they do play a good team, if they have to win and get in week 18 against Dallas, I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith that the defense can get it done.
How many Washington drives do you think went for more than 26 yards?
2.
Very specific number.
2. I mean, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Middle of the game,
10.
They were really good.
So
5 drives
they had,
there in the middle of the game.
So I think there were 8 or 9 drives if you take out the end of first half, end of second half drives. And of those, only 2 went for more than 26 yards. They had I agree their pass rush needs to play better. That's been consistent all year. This pass rush is not playing to their capabilities. That's a problem. But they really didn't allow too many yards. They only allowed 1 real touchdown drive, right?
They allowed
that's 1 too many.
They allowed 237 yards, 14 first downs. I actually thought their pass rush got going in the second half.
It did a little bit.
In some,
I mean, a win is a win, and
it wasn't dominant. It wasn't a dominant defensive performance. I mean, my expectations, as listeners know, and as you guys know, for this defense is that this is going to be mediocre to below average. Most weeks against a good offense, it's going to get carved up. So if you want to say that they didn't, do much to go in sort of a better direction this week, I can buy that. But I don't think it was bad. It wasn't one of those games where the backup quarterback is carving you up. I don't like this defense. Let me get it straight. I just didn't think. Think this performance was that bad.
I just can't see that as the takeaway from this game is, this defense really was a problem.
Well, listen, this team now is at a place where they are playoff contenders. That's underselling it. This is a team that where they are, they should make the playoffs. They need a Vikings loss. but the way things are set up, I don't. Maybe that's a little bit overstating it.
Yeah, a little less
I
than a
think
toss. A little.
I
than
think we have to
less than
change
50-50.
the evaluation of them just a little bit. Like, I don't know. Maybe I've gone too far the other way, but I don't know. I wasn't blown away by what they did here. You know, being the better rested team, the better prepared team against Garrett Gilbert.
I mean, like outside of one drive that started.
I mean, the
inside,
spread was 9.5, and they won by 10, so they beat the spread. But
Yeah,
like,
so they did pretty much exactly
Yeah,
what
but,
they were
like,
supposed to
come
do. What are you talking about? That happens like 50% of the time.
I know it
It's,
does. I'm just saying, like, let's not throw them a parade.
No one's throwing them a
not
parade.
throwing them a
all right?
parade. I'm
Straw
saying
man
that-
argument. No one's throwing them a parade.
Okay, well,
Literally,
I'm just telling you,
they-
I'm not like I didn't. My takeaway from this game was not like rah rah sis boom ba.
All right, so you're not doing this. He's not doing the Sirianni column, Zach. I think we've gotten that. I think he maybe he'll write why the defense sucks.
I don't think I'm just gonna not write a column. I'm just gonna take the week off.
That would be fine. Yeah, just do something for be like it's a weird week. I'm gonna write something for Thursday.
No, I'm just
know-
gonna postpone my column 2 days because.
How about
who
you spin it
cares?
forward? How about you spin it forward? Right about.
No, I like
is this a
that.
playoff team?
I'm just gonna say there's. I know that I'm scheduled to write tonight, but I'm just gonna make it 2 days later instead, and just hope that nobody cares.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. Okay, all right, you're getting on the league here.
Zach's idea, actually, if you are looking for a real idea, that is the idea that I think readers will be most interested
What
in.
is
If-
this a playoff team?
Here's their
just like
path to the
the look
playoffs.
ahead. Here's who
Yeah.
they
Oh,
have.
yeah.
Here's how these games are matching up. You could do. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
that's
give
fine.
you a format because you don't like any. You're not going to like my formats. But you can get into who would they match up well in the playoffs. What needs to happen for them to win the final 3 and get the playoff percentages. All that. That's a nice. I remember doing this when it was a late in the season, maybe a night game. I'm thinking, shoot, I don't have a big day after in me, and I'm like, well, everyone's already going to want to look ahead to next week. I just throw out one of those bad boys, quick and dirty. You don't even need to have any quotes in there from the game. You don't need to transcribe it all. Z-Berm hits the big narrative from the game, and you spin it forward. I mean, I would like that for my Eagles coverage on The Athletic tomorrow. All right, Bo doesn't like that
That's
either.
good.
All right.
That's an idea.
I mean, I'll say this game is ripe with storylines, right? There's no shortage of things to write. As I said, Sanders and Goddard, there's something there. There's the team coming off the long layoff here. How did they spend the extra time? There's a lot from this game that I think is worth exploring. I wish we were in the locker room. I imagine this was an energized locker room. It's not the same being next door, but no, this is. Look, I think this is a game people are gonna remember. A Tuesday game, for better or worse, stands out, and they. And
I mean, you remember every game, so I don't know. You're not a good judge for this. I
right.
remember no games. I'm pretty sure in 2 months.
You remember the Joe Webb game?
Yeah, I do remember the Joe Webb game.
So-
I did because that was a fun. I like a change up.
So this is a change up. This is a Tuesday night.
Relax. I'm not saying they should have done it, or I said we're gonna wait for Bo to get to that. But I like a little change up in my routine, in my schedule, where there's all of it. Marissa and I were saying in a couple of years, there's just going to be 2 games every day. Maybe not Friday and Saturday, but there's just going to be 2 games every day of the week.
I would love that.
Yeah,
more football, better.
Now,
I don't know if I've ever seen 2 days in a row with back-to-back games of such high quality play at the left guard position.
Oh yeah, we got to that. I
From
mean, I
Michael
would have put
Dunn
today's in that
yesterday,
category.
And then a little bit of a step down, but still, I would call it borderline Pro Bowl performance from Sua Opeta at left guard. I mean, we're living in the golden age of the left guard, I would say.
We actually did get a question about how did we think Opeta played, and I wasn't paying a lot of attention, but I know
fine.
you were. So he was just fine. Okay,
He was fine.
Jeez,
Yeah. He was
My
good.
Gosh,
He's moving people. He's good.
I mean, that was like your build up for the season. You think the Eagles are going to be great, and then you hit us with 8 and 9. I mean, that's
because I already know the guy is good.
Okay.
Some people are going to be surprised at how well he played, but I've been saying it for years.
So
We did have a question
By
about-
the way, DeAndre Carter in this game making some plays as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marissa. You were saying something there?
I was just going to say there was a comment. Did you guys think Mailata was walking with a limp towards the end of the game?
I was running my running. I was writing my running there.
No, but
I didn't notice anything.
He was right ahead of us running into the locker room as we were going to the press conference, and I did hear him drop an F-bomb. So I don't know if that was related.
TBD.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine that anybody's body feels good after playing a football game.
Yeah.
So.
And a man that big. I mean, probably just bending down that many times or that many plays. Like,
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
A weird.
You never
instance.
missed that opportunity. And now I think you've rubbed off on me because now when I have a chance to do that for boldness, I feel like I'm jumping all over it. And I wasn't like that before, so I blame that on you.
So the key, I think self-deprecation is a good quality, but also when you make the joke, it takes away from someone else making the joke, right? You know, it desensitizes it a bit when you're not, like if you're not self-conscious about your height, then it's like it makes it so. So I never miss a chance for that.
I think this was the first game in Jordan Mailata's career in which he was the third tallest player on the field.
Wow.
Well, there you go. That could be your story for tomorrow.
Who were the other two?
Harold Carmichael and David Baker.
Okay, I was wondering where you were going with that because I thought I knew both teams' rosters.
Yeah.
Calais Campbell is.
I was already not going to be sleeping tonight because of the late game, but I mean, if I do close my eyes, I mean, that ogre is going to be running through my head.
I gotta tell you guys this. Here's something that Sheil and Marissa would both appreciate. What do you think the Washington reporters in the press box and the national reporters in the press box were thinking when out of nowhere someone reacts in like a very expressive way to Greg Ward and not catching a touchdown?
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Yes.
How dare you? How dare you? Because the first reaction in this game that was like that was you to Jalen Reagor almost scoring a touchdown early in the game. And
it was not audible.
You were the one who was all over Superstore casting.
Visible.
I have rubbed off on you. You are embracing the love of the game.
Agree with this.
Don't you deflect. You were all in it.
Visible, not audible. Correct? Visible, not audible. No, because I mean, number one rule in the press box: no cheering in the press box. Right? I am well trained. I do not let out.
I would say that the Washington press corps did not abide by that either.
But visible, it was visible exasperation that Sirianni calls a play expressly to get Jalen Reagor the touchdown.
I mean, clearly
Jalen Reagor gets tripped up. Yeah. But
Zach won, right? We were waiting for you, Bo. But
we can get to it.
Let me get it. Oh, you have it up? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew has the most passing yards in the game. Didn't happen. A Memphis Tigers thing is shown. Don't think that happened. A punt is whistled dead in the field of play before anyone touches it. Didn't happen. We didn't get a riverboat Ron. I guess
that definitely didn't happen. The punt thing didn't happen.
The punt thing didn't happen. I was watching it closely. Now tell us, Sheil, what was your reaction at home when you saw the DeAndre Carter run, the flag, the conversation, and then 1st and 13 pop up on the screen?
I'll be honest. I'm not trying to just make this on brand. Like I can remember all the things we did. I can't remember what I had and what I didn't have. So I didn't know whether to cheer or not. And then I checked my mentions, and of course, not everybody, but a few people were congratulating me. So I knew I had that. So I said, oh, sweet. But then I checked at the end. So then I'm like, just checked at the end of the game, Dennis's tweet. And I'm like, wait a minute. I think I lost anyway because Z-Berm got 2 of these.
Well, we'll get there. I had a touchdown is called on the field and then overturned by replay review. Didn't happen. Washington covers the spread. As we said, lost by 0.5. Washington has more than one snap taken by a non-quarterback. And then the Greg Ward one. I mean, for him to deliver the touchdown, for him to get thrown a touchdown earlier in the game and drop it, or I guess ball was a little bit thrown out of his reach, and then catch his first non-touchdown of the season and look for a fleeting second like he might break it for a score. What a moment that was. So I come up short. And Zach does, in fact, he only had 3, but he used his turkeys wisely.
Huge
Fletcher Cox has at least 1 sack. The Eagles record at least 3 more sacks than the Washington football team. Didn't happen. And he only spent 3 turkeys on Jalen Reagor as either a touchdown or a catch of 20 or more yards.
God.
He gets the catch. He ties up Sheil for the season lead.
What
They're
a
both
joke.
at 5 1/3. 2 games ahead of me, but we're still alive with 3 games to go. What a race.
Oh my God, what a
Wild.
Yeah, and he's got all these turkeys. Did you just say that? He's got all these turkeys for this week? And I've
I
got
don't think
like
he
none.
has a ton of turkeys. He
Oh, he doesn't?
has
13.
he has
I think
9 and you have
13
1.
or 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unbelievable. He's the favorite. He's the Vegas favorite going
I don't
to
know
the
about
final
that. Nah, you still have
Well,
the edge.
I mean,
here.
let's
Wait,
see
I
what
have the
Munger-
edge, or
let's
is
see
it
what-
tied?
Let's see what Munger has to say.
Oh, I
about
have
it.
the edge?
Oh no.
No. Zach has
tied.
the edge. I mean,
Yeah.
No,
okay.
what's the score? Is it
you're
tied?
tied.
Right now?
You're tied.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, we're tied, and you have
Yeah.
more
Okay.
turkeys. Yeah. I like this.
appreciate
This
that.
is
Longest
like
view in the room.
This is why I always when Mike Tomlin's an underdog, I always pick his team against the spread. I think he covers 65% of the time. I want to be in that mindset here going into next week.
So I appreciate all the readers who have messaged me about purchasing books. There was a reader
I thought you were going to
today.
say about Superstore.
Yeah, well, no. So this ties into it. So there was
Shout out to
a
Munger.
reader today who I was signing the book, and I got his information to send it, and he asked how much it was, and he said, and he'll pay me more if I win Super Forecasting. He's rooting for me, and I'm thinking,
How
like,
dare you?
I really appreciate this, right? Like I genuinely appreciate it. It's like the poles of my career, if you will, that I'm signing a book that like I wrote a book, but also it's this game Super Forecasting, and it's like these two things are on equal playing field here.
Super Forecasting has definitely taken up more of your time, I think, at this point.
Have you guys talked about Sheil? Have you talked about Birds with Friends getting snubbed?
No, again, there are certain topics. Marissa and I, we don't even have to go over it. We just go, she knows she's not going to ask if there's a question about something. All right, we'll just wait for Bo for that one. So no, we did not.
I'm just going to say, listen, you had mentioned
Can
before.
you give some
Sheil,
context a little bit?
You had mentioned before that we the first time in your career at the Athletic that you were highlighted in front of the rest of the company was for the 4th annual Osprey Awards, rightfully so. A good job by everybody involved. But there was an end of the year sort of tip of the cap to all of the different podcasts and stories that have gone about. Birds with Friends, thought we had a good year, but nothing doing. So I think this is like we have to take this as like the motivating umbrage that we need to make 2022 the year of Birds with Friends and really, really commit to taking things to the next level. I think there's a lot of guests that we want to get on. Maybe we can commit to that. Let's dial this bad boy up.
Well, I think I'm sorry. You go, Marissa.
Oh
no,
I agree. I mean, we got 325 people in this live YouTube at midnight on a Tuesday. I think that's pretty good.
I agree with most of what you said. I think Bo and I really need to step it up. Marissa produces a podcast that was highlighted on there, so Marissa doesn't.
I mean, don't let Sheil out of this.
When did my name appear nowhere on any
Sheil
media?
Sheil 1 week earlier in the entire company, not just the entire company, gets singled out as
for showing up late to a Zoom.
No, the reason why the company was founded, right? The reason why the company started was so people could pay to read Sheil Kapadia.
No, it was Sheil Kapadia just showed up late. Hi, Sheil. Listen, I was doing my WIP hit. What do you want from me? Bo, I was going to take
as Khalif says, 2022, the year of the sicko.
Yeah, I was going to take this. I would take it as an
Khalif.
opportunity to rip the audience. Who else is giving you a
point.
post game show like this? Who else is giving you this number of minutes to listen to every week? Super Sork, all these stupid things we do. T-shirt shot. I've checked the reviews. You're not on there leaving a bunch of reviews, and
it's mostly just complaints about me.
Thumbs ups on there. YouTube. You're not stealing.
I feel bad about that, Bo.
You're not.
I want to respond.
I don't
to that,
feel
but I
bad
think that's
about it.
unprofessional.
Don't listen. Go somewhere else.
We welcome all listeners.
You're not stealing family members' devices and subscribing and unsubscribing enough. Like back in the day, you would do that for your show. And so listen, there have been rumors out there. We don't know what's going to happen to the company, to the show. I mean, who knows? You read the same versus I should. I'm just saying, there's always uncertainty in the media business. And so if you want Birds with Friends to continue and to get some recognition from the suits, the corporate overlords, right? Corporate overlord. That's what it is. Corporate.
Yes.
You need to,
That's the thing you checked in on.
You need to be giving that feedback. I mean, go on Apple Podcasts, leave the review, give the thumbs up, subscribe, unsubscribe, YouTube channel, subscribe there, leave comments. Is there anything else they can do? I think that's it.
I actually did inquire too
Okay.
with some of the higher ups about, well, this was before Omicron. Is that what it's called?
Omicron.
This was before Omicron. Yeah. This was before all that started getting crazy, but about doing a potential live show in the new year during the off season. So I did get like a yellow
the 5th
light.
annual Ospreys.
Yeah, potentially. Not the full green light yet, but a potential yellow light on doing that.
I mean, that's disrespect right there. I mean, a yellow light.
It should be health and safety and all of that right now.
All right, that's fine. If that's the reason for the yellow, then absolutely, I'm on board with it.
So we shall see when that comes up, but that would be really fun.
The Sirianni in-game decision making, I didn't get to give my
please, I'm sorry.
Take on that.
You're Mr. in-game decision making.
That was a great column. That was a great column.
I've given all those takes already. Of course, you can read theathletic.com/Birds with Friends. Sign up for a subscription to read Bo's column on Urban Meyer tomorrow, Zach's column on Jalen Hurts, and
we don't know
Sirianni,
that yet.
and my piece on in-game management. I didn't like the field goal. I thought the field goal that then turned into a 4th and 1, that they should have gone for it. If Washington comes back, they were then down
10.
Cut it to 2017. Eventually, there's a situation where we're going, what were they thinking there? The other two, I still would have gone for. They had the 4th and goal from, what was it, the 3?
Oh, yes. That one I thought, we forgot about. That one was bad. I thought that was bad.
Because that's
where it was the 2.
The 2, maybe. It was a 20-yard. Yeah, the 20-yard field goal.
Yeah, that was a bad sequence. They had 2nd down. They get to the line late and sort of force the run, get stuffed. That 3rd down throw was a bad throw by Hurts. Probably, maybe his only bad throw of the night. And then, on 4th down, you kick a field goal from the 2. You're down 10-0. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I did not. I do understand the idea of know your opponent, know what type of game you're in. And so if in this type of game,
they're the Goliath, not the David in this game.
Right. If you're being a little conservative and just saying, we've got this, in some situations, I'm okay. But that was, 3 situations right there. So I always lean towards being aggressive in those spots, especially 4th and 1. I mean, can't just run a quarterback sneak, or the way they're running the football. You can't get 1 yard there.
Yeah, they had just run the ball down the field on that drive.
Yeah. So anyway,
maybe this is what it is. Maybe it's you start with the Eagles' path to the playoffs. You explain it, and then you turn it to. But listen, if they're going to be serious, they got to turn some of these things around. Nick Sirianni's got to be a little bit better decision making. The defense has to step up. And, the offense can do what it's been doing. Just not turn the ball over.
I'm not going to give any feedback because if I say, do that, you won't do it. If I say don't do it, then you'll be going, what a freaking jerk. He's supposed to be a teammate. I throw out my best idea and he says, don't do it. So I'm going to stay out of it. Are there any other takes?
That's a good
read. Go ahead.
Well, what was your take on Hurts tonight? Because, I saw your tweet. 3 of his 6 incompletions were drops. I thought he played a little bit differently tonight. I thought it was noticeable that he wasn't running as much. I think that was obviously part of the plan. There were I was tracking, I believe, only 2 called quarterback runs. The rest of them were true scrambles. And, you take into account the fact that he was going up against a not very good defense. But, after having played his worst game of his career against the Giants, I thought it was a pretty good bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, Washington's, I know they had guys go out during the game, but their defense wasn't like completely decimated in this game compared to normal weeks. They got Jonathan Allen, Duron Payne, Montez Sweat, those Ioannidis. I mean, those are 4 of their top 6 defensive linemen. They all played. William Jackson went out. Did he come back in or not?
No, he did not. He was out.
And
for
Landon
the game.
Collins also, or I don't know if he came back in.
Yeah.
Kendall Fuller, they didn't have him. So they were missing some guys, but, I feel like it was more of these are injuries kind of as hurt as you are at this point. I think there are times when you look at Hurt, like the fumble was bad. I thought, what did you think about that deep ball to Devontae Smith in the middle of the field?
Yeah, bad pass.
Post? And it's just like he has to get so much to just get the ball there. I mean, the arm is not strong, which we know we've talked about in previous weeks. So that showed up. There were times where it looked like he had opportunities.
Wait. So real quick,
that was
is
a weird
the
one,
arm?
'cause it didn't look like it landed too far away, and it I don't know.
Okay.
Is the arm not strong, or is he late throwing the pass?
Both.
Because
I think
he's. Yeah, because I think
his arm is not
it.
strong enough to make up for the fact that he's throwing it a beat late.
Yeah, because I think he throws it late, and so therefore he doesn't have the same, if you will, into it. Yeah.
If Josh Allen threw it when he threw it, it would be fine. Okay. But you combine him throwing it then and then not having the arm and it just this like laboring to get it there, that has shown up. But in
there's
terms
a couple
of
plays, sorry. Like the two of the completions in this game, the long one to Goddard and then the earlier one to Goddard when it looked like Reagor was open for a potential touchdown, and the long one to Goddard, it looked like that was maybe the wrong read. Like the corner comes off of Tyree Jackson to go to Goddard. Tyree Jackson would have been wide open, but Goddard makes a great catch, so that makes everything look better. And he does predetermine his throws sometimes, but. Anyway, finish what you were going to say.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think the flaws with Jalen Hurts still exist. But if I'm going in knowing that and saying what's the best version of the flawed Hurts that we can get, I mean, this was pretty close to it. Take away the fumble there. He was mostly accurate. He was getting the ball out. Again, there were exceptions to all of these. You didn't have all the running, but I mean, 20 for 26 for 296. With 3 drops in there, you have to you would have to take them. And then what I said earlier, not sulking, not getting down after you're down 10-0, not getting tense after that fumble and just bouncing back. I was saying earlier, I thought that 8-play, 80-yard drive after the lead was cut to 20-17 was really impressive. The back-to-back plays, one to Jalen Reagor on the screen, and then the Greg Ward touchdown, like that won you the game right there. And that's not easy to do in that situation, to just drive right down the field and get a touchdown. So that I'm repeating myself now, but that's what stood out to me.
Did you talk about the catch by Devontae along the sideline?
No.
What a hell of a catch that was.
Yeah.
Only 3 catches for 40 yards. Are you curious about him not being a little bit more involved in the offense, or you're okay with it just being the Goddard show?
I felt like there was an effort to get him the ball early in this game. I don't know how many targets he had, but it seemed like, okay, I would be curious about when those came, because it felt like in the first 2 or 3 possessions, it was like, all right, they definitely want to get him involved early. So without knowing whether there were, I feel like in past weeks, every week it feels like there are opportunities to get him the ball that they do not convert on. And so I'm not worried about him. And yes, I think it should continue to be a goal to get him the ball early.
I also think that Hurts, who I thought had probably one of his best games of the season, passing the ball. I mean, the Atlanta games jumps out, the Kansas City game jumps out, but one throw that I thought was a regrettable throw was the one this Devontae in the end zone. Devontae actually got banged up on. I don't know what he was looking at there, and I really didn't think it was a high percentage pass there. I thought I didn't love the play.
Predetermined. I think it's because he had somebody. I think at the
I think Gainwell. Yeah, I think he had Gainwell. So that play jumps out when you're talking about Devontae. As I didn't love that play, but yeah, they do need to get Devontae the ball right now more. But the way Dallas Goedert's playing is Like, that's a story we're going to have to really touch on as the week goes on.
Commenter suggested that for Bo.
Yeah, like he is, and you can get the elf, you can get the elf theme in. Like, he's dominating. He is playing so well right now, and he's such a threat that you can see why they gave him the contract, but also like you can envision what these next few years will be like, because he's a big time player.
Absolutely. That contested catch was fantastic down the left sideline. That was not a great throw. So we can say that Hurts had drops, but they also made some plays for him like that one. So that was fantastic play.
If I can interject real quick, we have an ad break we need to get to.
Yeah. Oh, right. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. And I need to get the writing soon, so we can't string on that.
We can end this.
Long. So let's get the ad break if we can.
All right. We'll be right back.
If you ever wanted to make your home feel safer, there is no better time than now. This week, our friends at Simply Safe are giving Birds with Friends listeners early access to all their holiday deals. 40% off their award-winning home security. We love Simply Safe because it has everything you need to make your home safe. Indoor and outdoor cameras, comprehensive sensors, all monitored around the clock by trained professionals who send help the instant you need it. Simply Safe was even named Best Home Security System of 2021 by U.S. News and World Report. You can easily customize a system for your home online in minutes and even get it free custom recommendations from Simply Safe. These are Simply Safe's biggest discounts of the year. You can get a complete home security system starting at just over $100. There are no long-term contracts or commitments. It's a really easy way to start feeling a bit more peace of mind. Take advantage of Simply Safe's holiday deals and get 40% off your new home security system by visiting simplysafe.com/athletic. Again, that's simplysafe.com/athletic for 40% off your entire system. If you're looking for ways to skip the trip to the post office and dodge all the hectic holiday shopping traffic, why not save time and money with Stamps.com? Stamps.com lets you compare rates, print labels, and access exclusive discounts on UPS and USPS services all year long. It just makes sense, especially if your business sends more mail and packages during the holidays. Whether you're selling online or running an office or side hustle, Stamps.com can save you so much time, money, and stress during the holidays. Access all the post office and UPS shipping services you need without taking the trip. And get discounts you can't find anywhere else, like 40% off USPS rates and 76% off UPS. Going to the post office instead of using Stamps.com is kind of like taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Just going up a couple floors? Sure, take the stairs. Walking up 30 flights a day? You could use a break. If you spend more than a few minutes a week dealing with mail and shipping, Stamps.com is a lifesaver. You'll save so much time and money, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. Save time and money this holiday season with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code BWF for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code BWF.
Did you said you wanted to wait to touch on the postponement?
No, go ahead. There's a good time. Do you want to? Yeah, and then I can. I have a little life anecdote, and then Zach, if you have anything, and we can call. I mean, we're going on 90 minutes here, and yeah,
I had a bit of a testy radio hit on a DC radio station before the game. They were like, the guys like, all these Eagles fans are just bitching and moaning about having to play, this game against Garrett Gilbert. Just go out and win the game. It's no big deal. And then he brings me on and talks about how that's what he was hearing on the Philadelphia sports radio this morning. And I'm like you are misrepresenting what is the complaint here. It's not about this game. It's about the league moving this game and changing the competitive balance to give them a 4-day turnaround after the fact, when a day later they basically put all these rules in place that make it seem like they don't think Omicron is a thing that matters at all. Only get tested of your own volition if you want to volunteer that you have symptoms, and like those two things don't make any sense at all in conjunction together. And by the way, the game was moved 2 days, and the net difference was 3 players. 4 players in, 1 player out for the Eagles, and a bunch of assistant coaches out for Washington. So it didn't make sense. It was stupid. And it was another example of the league like letting the dog wag its tail. He's like, well, but this was the precedent that they set last year. And I said, well, like that may be so if it is so, but also they set a new precedent at the start of the season that they weren't going to do this. And then they did it. So then we talked about some stupid stuff.
Do you feel like there was a nice real beef there? I feel like there's always been a little bit of a contentious relationship between the Washington football team media and the Philadelphia media. I sort of remember something in the past of I don't remember details. I feel like it was a Philadelphia writer telling Washington writers to shut up or like pipe down or something.
No, it was the McNabb press conference.
Oh, there was that too. Yeah, what was that
Yeah.
again? What's that story again?
They were like upset that Eagles people came down to ask questions at the press conference, right?
It was just a different style. And look,
Are they not gonna do it? Like,
I have a lot of respect for the Washington media as a former member.
Of course,
of the
you
Washington
do.
Waffle
media.
man, yeah.
It was.
Well,
first 2
what you
years
want
of
to know
my
what else was want to know what else was funny about this radio appearance? Zach, why don't you tell your side of the story?
So we get I got a text at like a long text at like 2:34, asking me if I can come on, giving me like time slots, and then I get a text at like 2:38 saying sorry, I was already filled. And I didn't see the 2:34 text. And so I see the second one. I'm like, wait, so you don't need me? And he said, no, someone else claimed it or something, as if like we're all like lining up.
Yeah.
And so I responded like how I responded, what number in line was I? Because
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a pet peeve of mine.
I mean, how brutal.
A pet peeve of mine is
I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah,
Hold
I'm
on,
happy to
let it
come
go
on all
off
these
here.
shows. I'm happy to come on these shows, but don't make it like an assembly line. Like have it such that you are actually trying to get particular insight from me, or like you value what I can provide to the show. I wouldn't send like 10 interview requests out to people and like if it'd be like, sorry, this player responded, so you can't be interviewed by me, right? Like
So what did they say?
That they didn't respond to that one. That one kind of
And that's the show that I went on.
yeah, but yeah.
Because I
So Paul was
responded
the one
to
who
the text
responded
promptly.
Yeah.
And guess what?
They
And
didn't
guess what?
respond or apologize or anything?
No, I was in the shower. That's what I was in the shower getting ready for the game, man. At
And guess
2:34.
what? They didn't give me like follow Bo Wulf or read his articles or any nonsense. It was just come on, talk about the Eagles and get out. So, I mean,
All right. Well, I don't know.
what are you doing here?
Are you naming names? I don't know. What do you do? Boy, they must like having Philadelphia reporter. I went on one last time. Of course, tomorrow I'm going on with athletic writer Ben Standick, who would never do anything.
He's awesome, Ben.
Yeah.
Ben is so plugged in.
Like that. Yeah. So that would be different, but that wasn't the case previously. Oh, Zach, I love that. What number in line was
Yeah, that was great. That's great.
outstanding. I mean, lead with that next time. I won't do the immediate post game pod. If you got something that good, I'll just wait till you come on, or we'll pre-record that segment and just make sure we start that up. Yeah, that is true. Okay.
Before the game, Connor Barwin, I ran into Connor Barwin at the
Flex.
like near the food place here behind in the press box, and I thought he was coming in for like a fist pound, and instead he goes, "Your fly's open." I've had this problem with these pants. The fly, it's like a rogue fly. It keeps going down.
If that
Is
happens
this like
once, you can't keep wearing them.
So what's the deal here? Is it like is this a me problem? Is it a pants problem? Like am I like what's going on?
Well, yeah, it could be that you're unzipping that bad boy too often, which I'm not going to ask any further questions there. But I have never had a rogue fly. I mean, I've never had a fly that the malfunction was that it just bada boom. You know, that is not a thing. I mean, it could get stuck. There could be a fly that gets stuck when you're trying to zip back up, but one that just opens itself. Zach, are you? I've never had that.
No, no. If my fly's down, it's usually because I forgot to zip it up, not because there's a problem with the pants. I'm not blaming the pants for that one. So
yeah. So I don't know when the last time was you unzipped those bad boys.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what your pregame rituals are nowadays on a Tuesday. Maybe it's a little different than it would be on a Sunday. You got a little thrown off.
Blames his tools, I guess, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's happened.
My editor's probably he's like staying up right now. He's thinking I'm waiting for Zach to start writing his story for this.
All right, my last thing.
Anything wrong with it.
Only because we want to give them content after that last ad break. You know, you don't want to just end it.
Yes.
So I'm in this delicate dance with Hyundai Uncle. So first of all, if you have a lease up right now, go ahead.
I just got a Hyundai, so I'm a little nervous about this
Yeah.
conversation.
Well, no, it's not. It could be any. It could be Nissan Uncle. It's not the car, but basically, if you have a lease up right now or coming up, make sure you find out what you can sell that bad boy for instead of just turning it in, because the used car market is out of control. Where you can make a little lechuga by just going to one of these other places and saying, all right, well, you pay out my lease here and kind of buy the car for, and it's more than, the payout price. So you make a little money there. So I would advise everybody to look into doing that. Of course, you're going to be making up for that on the other end when you have to get the new car, because that's still going to be expensive. I still think you'll, end up in a good spot. But anyway, sending some texts out. One was to he could be listening. I don't know. A certain Hyundai uncle who I had correspondence with previously. Okay, so we're going back and forth. He's saying, "Oh, we just got in this one car, the car you were looking for. I don't know how long it's gonna last." And so what I appreciate is he never tried to get me on the phone, because, as you know, I don't want to talk to anyone on the phone. So I'm asking him all these questions. Hey, does it have these features? You got any 0% APR financing? If I lease, what's my monthly going to look like? I'm not putting any money down other than first month's payment. And so we're going back and forth. He's giving this all to me, but this was on Monday. So I'm like, I can't come in today to do anything about the car. I got a busy day. I got to write a column for tomorrow. There's football starting at 5. And so I said, I can give you some information if that helps. And then I can come in tomorrow. And he's like, well, I don't know if it's still going to be there. And I said, all right, and that's okay. And he said, all right, well, we don't need to do anything now then. And I said, all right, well, if it's available tomorrow, then we can, figure it out then. I mean, I was ready to go to the dealership and make something happen, but I didn't want to be the one sending that initial Tuesday morning. I wanted to have the hand in this relationship in case there's something that comes up and he's giving me a little higher price or there's something. So I said, I'm not, I never really courted anybody. I'm not used to this. So this is as close as I've kind of gotten to it. I would imagine the college kids, you in your 20s or whatever, where you're saying, do I send the text?
Do I TikTok first or
send the text? Yeah. I don't really know how any of that works again, but this was my version of it. And so I said, I'm going to do a little delicate dance here and we'll see who flinches first. No correspondence all day. So maybe the car's gone. The car dealerships now, they don't really need your bit. It's very easy for them to get rid of cars. So they don't need to, in the past, a year ago or whatever, they're calling you 20 times. They're trying to make something happen. They're trying to make it a sweet deal. That's totally out the window. So I don't know. We're a one car family right now. I think that's okay. I mean, I do everything in this room here, so we don't really need a second car immediately. So we'll see how it goes. If he'll, think about it and get in touch. Maybe the car's gone. I don't know. I was thinking we do need an official car salesperson of Birds with Friends. I mean, I can't be going through this. Just like, we will give you business. We can advertise. Marissa, cover your ears. I don't know if this is allowed or not. We'll advertise for you. Nick, for the listeners, Nick says Bo should write about Sheil's Hyundai.
Now we're talking.
The day after, I would agree. But that would be a lot easier to just make our decisions very easy. Just give us fair market prices. We don't need to do any haggling, and we'll give you some business from the Birds with Friends audience. So if you're interested in that,
so are you going to send? Are you going to wait them out in perpetuity? Or are you not going to send?
Oh yeah, I'm not making the first text. No, yeah, I'll wait.
Sheil, I just bought
you.
a car and nobody followed back up. Like, you think, they're going to call you the next day. They're going to annoy you. I'm like waiting for it. Like, ghosted. Like, I had to follow up on like everything.
Just what I said to my wife. I said, he's ghosting me.
Yep. Not the best time to buy a car.
Zach's already started writing his lead.
No, Zach underrated, has very good car knowledge. When we did the Eagles Jets joint, I mean, I'm actually going for a car that Zach was suggesting there. He said, well, keep an eye out for this Tucson hybrid in a 20.
Yeah, it's selling over the MSRP right now, though. So
everything is. I would say everything's at least like $2,000 over the MSRP.
That's what mine was.
Yeah, so
I just bit the bullet at that point. It's like everything is. So
yeah, I'm trying to wait that out. So we'll see.
But I got the good deal on the lease turn in. I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
I'm trying to. You want to get the deal on both sides of it, though, right?
Yeah, that's a true Kapadia mentality right there. I like it.
Yeah, so.
All right, so we'll see.
I would rather continue doing this podcast for the next 6 hours than write this article that I have to write.
All right,
is there anyone?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what will you give me if I said, all right, I'm coming back in for one day after?
Whatever you want.
I had an espresso around 6:30. No, I'm not doing that.
Whatever you want.
No, sorry.
I'll write your picks column this week.
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, close this out.
All right. So what are we doing, by the way? Yeah.
Thursday.
We got to wait and see what the Eagles media schedule is.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're getting Sirianni. I think we're gonna get. And we'll get another coach tomorrow as well. I think Thursday we're going to get players. I still think we'll be able to do it at the same time, but we'll have more clarity tomorrow.
All right. So tentatively Thursday at 3:30, we might adjust time. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We'll all be home. So yes.
Yes. Eagles going all virtual media wise this week.
Oh, okay.
So that'll do it for this episode of Birds with Friends. We'll be back on Thursday. The Eagles 7-7.
Last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll tweet out the link for the. There was a lot of love for the sweatshirt. People were going to TeePublic. They couldn't find it, so I will try to tweet out the.
Yeah, you gotta know what you're doing to find that bad boy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so we'll be back on Thursday. Eagles 7-7 with 3 games left. Jake Fromm and/or Mike Glennon awaits next week. Probably Taylor Heineke after that, and then. Will Week 18 matter against the Dallas Cowboys? Will the Eagles be playing with a chance to get into the playoffs? They need a Vikings loss along the way at some point. Vikings play the Rams on a short week this week and then go to Green Bay. So everything up in the air for the Philadelphia Eagles. We will be back Thursday. Thanks to Sheil and Marissa for holding down the fort in probably a much better way than the rest of the show, but that's okay. We got to hang out together, and you got to see Zach's handsome mug. Zach, you're number one on my list for everything. If I was starting a radio show, you'd be my number one call.
I appreciate that. I enjoyed doing it with you yesterday.
1 hour and 42 minutes?
Yeah,
What did you do yesterday?
We did live. We did the live show.
But it didn't show up on my feed. Did I? So I
it did. It's actually live? It's for subscribers only, though. So it's for Athletics Plus or
I subscribe to the Athletic.
No, not Athletic.
You can listen to the Athletic app. If you're listening on Apple, you have to be an Apple Plus subscriber.
It has to be connected.
Yeah.
What if I listen on Overcast?
I don't think that's going to work for you.
No, I think it only shows Apple up on Apple. Yeah.
Should I switch to listening on Spotify? I got jealous of those people putting out the, hey, I listened to this. They're giving them the year-end reports.
I didn't trust my Spotify year-end in review. There was
No?
not enough Moana on there for it to be accurate.
I trusted mine.
What a
There was-
soundtrack, Moana.
Yeah, there's a lot of Toy Story on mine. Yeah. And Lion King. Yep, a lot of that.
All right.
All right, we got to write.
Okay. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for watching on YouTube. Numbers just through the roof for 12:30 on a Wednesday night. Gotta love that. And yeah, if you got any zipper tips, hit us up with hashtag BWF Sheil's legs. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as always, we love you.